Today, we're going to discuss the ResidentShield Renters Insurance Program, how your residents can obtain a policy, how your staff can navigate inside Yardi's Renters Insurance, and the Master Policy Program. Renters Insurance is very important because it provides protection for your community. Residents can purchase personal property coverage, which will protect their personal belongings against lightning, theft, water, wind, and fire. In addition to residents insuring their personal belongings, their purchase of liability coverage insures your property against a resident-caused loss. If a resident causes a loss, they can be held liable for the damage. You won't have to use your operating budget to pay for repairs. The best part is that we manage the entire program for you, and the more ResidentShield policies your residents purchase, the less manual data you are required to enter. ResidentShield policies are automatically inserted into Yardi, whereas all third-party policies require manual entry. Additionally, if ResidentShield policies are canceled, Yardi is updated electronically and you are notified automatically. What are my company's insurance requirements? Residents must provide personal liability coverage for the amount stated on their lease agreement. Personal liability is the portion of the policy that covers resident-caused losses. The minimum personal property coverage that is suggested for your residents is $10,000. The limits may vary in some states. We also offer limits up to $75,000. Because insurance coverage is mandatory, liability insurance is required for all residents renewing their lease and all new move-ins. In other words, if there is no valid policy in place, there will be no distribution of keys to that property. So how does this all work? With the mandatory program, all residents must show proof of insurance. If your resident doesn't have coverage, please refer them to our website to purchase their policy. It only takes a few minutes to complete online, and you will get an email confirmation instantly. Residents can also reach our customer service department to purchase a policy. All residents are pre-approved. All policies purchased through ResidentShield will automatically load into Yardi for you. Any third-party policies, like Farmers or Allstate, will need to be entered into the system by a staff member. Please note, if your resident chooses to purchase a policy through a third-party carrier, your property will need to be added as an additional interested party. This is very important because otherwise, the outside insurance carrier will have no legal obligation to notify you if the resident's policy cancels. Because of our relationship with your management company, all ResidentShield policies are excluded from this requirement. Yardi ResidentShield will notify you of any changes to all ResidentShield policies via email. The owner-placed Master Policy Program stands behind your ResidentShield program to ensure nearly 100% program compliance. The Master Policy is a liability-only policy in which the apartment community is listed as the primary named insured, and residents are added as additional insureds. Master policies fulfill the lease requirements as set by the property. ResidentShield policies that lapse in coverage will generate an email, as will cancel third-party policies, Allstate, State Farm, etc. And these non-compliant residents will auto-enroll into a master policy. Once the residents are enrolled in the master policy, the system will create a lease charge. In order for your community to receive notification your resident's policy has canceled, your resident's third-party insurance must list your community as an additional interested party and add your address so you receive notifications of cancellations. If you are signed up for the Yardi ResidentShield Interested Third-Party Management Program, which will eliminate the headache of program compliance, inform your residents their management company must list Yardi's ResidentShield P.O. Box in the Additional Interested Party section on the policy. As your preferred provider, we've compiled a quick list of do's and don'ts. Do inform your residents of the mandatory liability limits as stated on their lease agreement, but do not complete the application for the resident. This is a legally binding contract, and we want to ensure residents are aware of what they are purchasing. Do refer your residents to ResidentShield to purchase their renter's insurance policy, but do not provide details on their policy coverages. Do refer the residents to ResidentShield if they have questions, but don't answer the questions. We are licensed agents and are very familiar with the coverage offered on the renter's insurance policy. Finally, please refer your residents to their insurance provider in the event of a personal property claim, but do not file a claim for the resident's personal property. Who handles the claims? Property managers and staff should not file personal property claims for residents. Please refer them to their insurance provider. It is the resident's responsibility to file a claim for their personal property. If you have a liability claim or resident-caused loss at your community for a ResidentShield policy, please contact ResidentShield during normal business hours or the claims department 24/7. You can also file claims after the resident moves out. For instance, if you are doing a walkthrough after a move out and notice there is resident-caused damage that is in excess of their security and/or pet deposits, file the claim as soon as possible. Remember, it is imperative to take pictures. This will allow you to turn the unit without having to wait for the adjuster to see the damage. We can get the claims process started at any point for you, even after the resident moves out. But please let us know immediately when the damage occurs. Master Policies Claims. Master Policy claims require your property management team to take pictures of the resident-caused damage, fill out the Master Policy Claim form. Remember to list your Notice of Insurance number found on the Master Policy Certificate, picture to follow. Exhaust all security and/or pet deposits before filing a claim. Send Master Policy Claim to your insurance account manager by email, including Master Policy Certificate with submission. The Master Policy Certificate can be found in the Renter's Insurance interface under the Resident card. Yardi includes a ResidentShield dashboard as well as analytics to help you with compliance. All new move-ins and renewals must have insurance in the system. Policies must start on or before their move-in date. This is very important because policies can never be backdated under any circumstances. So you can never start a policy on a day that has already passed. The great thing about ResidentShield policies is that the information will automatically load into Yardi for you, so you won't have to manually enter it. To find the renter's insurance information, you will go to the Resident ID screen, click the Data tab, then click on Renter's Insurance Interface, as shown here. The interface window will appear, which shows you the renter's insurance information. Our insurance company is QBE Praetorian, so when you see this name, you will know that it is a ResidentShield policy. The policy number, liability amount, and the policy term are listed. Please note, ResidentShield policies will automatically renew each year, so the policy end date will always show as January 1st, 2099. If the Policy Canceled box has a date, then the policy is canceled and no longer active. All ResidentShield policies auto-renew, and a renewal page is sent to your community via email. All ResidentShield policies remain active unless canceled at residents' request or because of non-payment. Something else to note is that the resident's information is coming directly from our website into Yardi. If the first name, last name, or unit number do not match, the policy will load into Yardi but will not connect to the resident's card. In a moment, we will cover the Unmatched policies process, which is used to connect these policies to your residents in Yardi. Some residents may decide to purchase a policy with a third-party provider, not ResidentShield. Companies like Progressive, Geico, Allstate, etc. are considered third-party providers. To add a third-party policy, go to the Renter's Insurance interface and click the Create New Policy button. Confirm your property is listed as the additional interested party on the declaration page and enter information. The fields highlighted in blue are required. Even though the policy ends date is not listed as a required field, it is important to populate as a reference when running reports for lease renewals. To add roommates to a third-party policy, ensure they are listed on the policy as an additional insured. Open the Renter's Insurance interface, select the Add Edit Additional Insured. Choose the appropriate person on the next pop-up and check the box beside the additional insured's name. Save. Close. ResidentShield Renters Insurance policies automatically populate additional insureds if the residents who purchase the policy lists additional roommate and/or a spouse. Third-party policy renewal processing. Once you receive the third-party renewal declaration page via email or mail, confirm your property is still listed as the additional interested party. Add the renewal policy information in Yardi. Navigate to the Renter's Insurance interface and create a brand new policy using the information from the renewal policy declaration page. In order to save the renewal policy, ensure you check the Renewal box on the policy information screen, as shown here, or the policy will not save correctly. Do not delete the original third-party policy entry. Click Save and Close. Do not manually add or update ResidentShield policies. We have no way of updating manually added policies. We've included the ResidentShield dashboard to provide you with a summary of your resident's insurance compliance. You can find this under the Renter's Insurance menu to the left. Select the Renter's Insurance dashboard to outline insurance data inside the system. The Policy Information section shows you policy counts broken down by insurance carrier. Third-party policies like Allstate and Geico are listed here, as well as our Yardi ResidentShield policies and master. The Policy Status section shows you the number of policies that are current, expiring, or have already expired. Clicking on the blue numbered links will provide a list of the associated policies. We've included a Requiring Attention section to assist your team with any policy's concerns. This section will easily allow you to reconcile any policy errors that may arise. This section also includes unmatched policies. These particular policies did not populate to the correct resident inside Yardi for a number of reasons. Do not enter ResidentShield policies into your system. Check this section first. To resolve these, click on the blue number listed as an unmatched policy. In the search box, type in the last name or first name to find the resident. A list of residents will appear. Select the resident that matches the policy, click on their name, line will highlight in blue when clicked as shown here, then click the OK button when you have selected the resident. The resident ID number will appear in the blank box. Click Save, and your policy will populate to the correct resident inside your system. The policy is now tied to the correct resident and unit. Renter's Insurance Analytics inside Yardi allows you to run more in-depth reports about your community and residents' policy statuses. Your staff can export a PDF or Excel workbook for all reports. Reports can run for property lists, individual properties, various resident statuses, and you can schedule reports right to your inbox, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually. Policy Information provides basic historical information for tenants. Policy Exception provides exception of coverage report, policies not currently active. Great to run during renewal time. Policy Summary, which will provide current policy information, not historical. Our Policy Portfolio Report provides an overview of how the program is working in an individual community and includes details of your property exposure. You can send your regional managers a copy to keep them up to date and show them your compliance with the program. The most important part of this report is the occupied unit exposure. A high percentage in this column means that your residents are non-compliant with their lease agreement. In order to minimize your risk, the occupied unit exposure should fall between 20 and 23% or lower. Master policy is a forced place liability only that is property owned. There is no personal contents for the resident with this policy. The resident pays for the policy with their rent. There are two ways a resident can be enrolled in master policy. You can enroll residents one at a time from the renter's insurance interface inside the resident card. We cannot backdate master policies. They must start the same day or any future date. Master Policy Enrollment. Under the Renter's Insurance tab on the main menu, there is an option to enroll in master policy. Once you choose this option, enter the start date. Remember, it has to be the same day or future. Enter the property name and statuses of those you want to enroll. Residents without an active policy will show. Simply check the Enroll Resident box or boxes on the far right, and then click on the Enroll in Master Policy button. Be aware that the enrollment will create a lease charge to the resident. If a resident decides to purchase a third-party policy, first ensure you are listed as an additional interested party. After verification, enter the new policy. Inside the resident card, open the Renter's Insurance interface to cancel the master policy. Select the Edit button and cancel the policy by entering a cancellation date and selecting a reason for cancellation. The cancellation date will auto-populate and end the lease charge, prorating any charges. It is very important that you do not delete or remove the amount for the master policy on the Lease Charge tab. If you remove or delete charges, this action will impact your billing, causing extra fees to your community for reconciliation. In closing, we do have a few helpful tips. Set ResidentShield.com as a favorite on all computers in the management office and/or the business center. Remind your residents they can purchase same-day coverage with ResidentShield 24 hours a day. Those residents who aren't computer savvy or who would like to speak to an agent can call us to process their application. We also have bilingual agents who would be happy to answer any questions. Our office is open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Future residents will experience some stress when arranging their move. Luckily, ResidentShield makes it easy, especially if they know their new address. They can also complete the application and request the coverage to start on their move-in date. Since the confirmation will automatically be sent to them and to your property, that's one less thing for them to handle on move-in day. With our ResidentShield plan, your property is pre-approved for specially negotiated rates. Other plans can require a property approval checklist as well as mandatory credit checks and loss history reports. Any of these items can increase the premium of their renter's insurance or prevent them from obtaining the policy at all. ResidentShield does not run additional underwriting reports, and all of your community's information is pre-populated in our system, making it much more convenient for you and your residents.